Building a modern, interoperable, international payment and settlement system, RippleNet, based on blockchain technologies. Our ultimate goal we call the Internet of Value, payments as easy as email for enterprises of all sizes and for consumers around the world. Obviously, we're not going to build that all by ourselves. It's an audacious goal. And in 8 years, we've learned a lot about where the challenges are, but also where the opportunities are. The good news, CBDCs can make domestic settlement faster, more reliable, and less costly. And that's important. You can't have good international payments without good domestic settlement. International payments are more important than you might think because they're just so inefficient today. They often simply don't take place. Most emails wouldn't have been sent by postal mail if we didn't have email. The communication simply wouldn't have happened. An enormous amount of valuable commerce simply doesn't happen because international payments are so slow, unreliable, costly, and complex. The opportunity is enormous. There's typically a domestic transfer on each end of any international payment. If those don't work well, the international payment doesn't work well. And equally importantly, if you imagine an international settlement system with great characteristics like speed, certainty, low failure rates, those benefits won't be seen by the endpoints of the payment unless the domestic components on both ends of the international payment have them too. Countries that don't modernize their domestic systems will not see the benefits of the revolution in payments taking place today pushed to the endpoints in that country. Working to build modern international payments, we've discovered that the biggest obstacle is very often the last hop, getting the funds to the payment recipient through the domestic payment system. But lacking connectivity to consumers, CBDCs won't solve the last mile problem that has made modernizing international payments so difficult. Fortunately, domestic systems are modernizing. SEPA, Singapore, others have very strong domestic systems. The US is implementing FedNow, though that won't be live for another few years. It's important that these payment systems are built on newer technologies that are compatible with each other. At a minimum, they won't be able to confer the benefits of improved international settlement to the payment's originator and recipient if they aren't modernized. At worst, those payments won't work at all.
Solo Scrooge, sending peace and blessings to you all out there. Hashtag Solo Nation. How's it going, my people? Hope everyone's well. Appreciate you all for the love and support of the channel. Hit the subscribe button for us, my people. If you're not subscribed, we're giving you updates on XRP, Sologenic, Corium. Hit the like button for me. That pushes the channel through the analytics and helps the channel grow. So shout out to Danny Dark. Danny Dark, he said, he posted Tobias Adrian in the same room as Brad G. Tobias Adrian in the same virtual room as David Schwartz, all speaking about domestic and international cross-border settlement. So let's furthermore hear what David Schwartz was talking about and what he's saying.
So there's an opportunity here to bridge domestic real-time payment systems such as FedNow, clearinghouse for US dollars, with powerful benefits for small and medium enterprises and ultimately consumers around the world. We need to build systems with common principles just as the internet was built. Today, many computer networks are effectively just part of the internet, but this wasn't always the case. As many of you may know, Cisco rose to dominance among competitors because they could make legacy systems that were already there connect to the internet, while competitors frequently required you to build new internet-like networks. Today, most networks look like the internet, and this isn't a concern, but it took interoperability to get there. There was payments and settlement are in that pre-internet state. There's still that huge mismatch. It's walled garden after walled garden with limited interoperability through a massive number of limited interconnections. Liquidity is spread out, and enterprises need to keep money spread across these systems when they don't know which domestic payments they'll need to make next in which countries. The result is high cost due to trapped funds and the need to pre-fund transactions, often days in advance. Today, many sovereign countries around the world want independence from such a system that gives jurisdictions like the US and the EU extraterritorial control over systems in those sovereign countries and regions. Saudi Arabia, for example, wants a payment system in the Middle East that respects their sovereignty. If each country issues their own CBDC or starts using stablecoins denominated in different regional currencies, we risk repeating this mistake yet again. We drastically need interoperability between these virtual currencies and between virtual currencies and traditional assets and systems. A CBDC, by definition, is going to carry the same capital controls, trade agreements, politics as its corresponding fiat currency did, and countries are not going to want to deal with another country's capital controls, nor should they. They're sovereign nations. If you're looking at cross-border, that key factor is interoperability. You're working across jurisdictions and across assets. You need a neutral asset in between different CBDCs, or your liquidity is going to be divided among the n-squared pairs of CBDCs. Similarly, if other assets, such as securities around the world, get tokenized, there's even more need for a neutral asset between multiple CBDCs and possibly a large number of new assets in new asset classes.
Shout out to David Schwartz. He says you're going to need a neutral asset in between CBDCs. And I give you all one guess as to what that neutral asset is. XRP. So you're going to need a neutral asset, my people. Come on. So Tobias Adrian. Shout out Tobias Adrian. Tobias Adrian, who is he? Tobias Adrian is a German and American economist who has been financial counselor of the International Monetary Fund and head of their monetary and capital markets department since 2017. And he clearly recognizes the need for XRP. The International Monetary Fund, what is it? IMF. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, is an organization of 190 countries working to foster global monetary cooperation, secure financial stability, facilitate international trade, promote high employment and sustainable economic growth, and reduce poverty around the world. So that's their goal. That's what they claim their goal is. Okay? Tobias Adrian, shout out Danny Dark again. Tobias Adrian reckons one global CBDC platform. Our blueprint for a new class of platforms would ensure greater interoperability, efficiency and safety in cross-border payments as well as in domestic financial markets. So BIS, they're saying unified ledger. IMF are saying common platform ledger. Let's take a listen.
And I'll stop here. So our first panelist is Tobias Adrian, who is the financial counselor and the director of the monetary and capital markets department of the IMF.
Great, thank you so much. Just a year ago, all the talk was about crypto assets, Bitcoins, and its multiple evolutions. And today I'm going to shift and talk more about e-money. In particular, I'm going to focus on stable coins and how they relate to central bank digital currency and what it might mean for the international financial system.
Most of you know about XRP and the other things that Ripple is doing. He's been a CTO in the industry for some time. In prior work, he did encrypted crowd storage and encrypted enterprise messaging and many other areas where he brings expertise. So I'll turn it over to Tobias for 20 minutes. Thanks, Tobias.
Yeah, wonderful. It's very nice to see many friends online. What you want to use is a common ledger, right? So distributed ledgers have many problems. The lack of finality, the lack of identity. So to use new technologies for policy purposes, having a common ledger, perhaps run by the central bank or by an agency appointed by the central bank,
Today's global financial system is more complex than ever before. Yet as the world's economies grow, the infrastructure they rely on needs to evolve. Every nation has its own independent monetary policy and regulatory standards.
To use new technologies for policy purposes, having a common ledger, perhaps run by the central bank.
A common ledger, my people. A common ledger. You know, the dots are being connected. Banks will interact with XRP. The IMF quietly recognized XRP for cross-border payments in 2018. June the 19th, 2023, IMF officially presents blueprint for cross-border CBDCs. So my people, I appreciate you all for the love and support of the channel. If you got anything out of this update, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm Solo Scrooge with the Solo News, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.